first round. It looked like a lot of in the college football playoff. Thank you for giving us these college versus high school matchups, but it is what it is.
Yeah, not too bad, Clay. Not too bad. I don't know what your thoughts on this, but I've been seeing people after the whole entire Junior Madison beat down, that whole game up, and obviously the massacre as well against Ole Miss. I'll give James Madison props. They did fight back. They still put the 30,
Backdoor cover,
30,
20 and a half spread, and
covered at the very end.
that's why I stayed away from it. I stayed totally away from it because yeah, go ahead.
But
yeah, that was crazy back then.
that was, I mean, fair play to them on, still wind up getting 30 burgers in the day in Oregon, I mean, I don't think a lot of people expect that, but I mean, man, you can tell there's such a massive gap, like in talent, just, difference in general, between the G5 teams, like James Madison, Tulane, compared to Ole Miss and Oregon. And I think that brings the broader question, which I'm sure some people are going to have to, they'll be taking into consideration in the offseason, is should we allow group of five teams be guaranteed a spot in the playoff? And I still think from like the integrity perspective of the sport, you absolutely have to, just because you gotta let the underdog have a shot. You've seen the Cinderella story in the past. Stay, yeah, top tier. But having said that, you can't help but think that a team like Notre Dame would have put up a much better fight, or even a team like Vanderbilt would have made it more competitive.
1,000%. Yeah, I agree. So the things that really stood out to me were the way we knew, especially with Ruben Bain on the defensive line. I mean, he's a top 5 NFL pick, but the way they dominated both lines against the Loco boys there. And I mean, what the hell is he thinking? Like, he went away from the screen game. You have 0 time, and their quarterback, Reed, being able to try to throw and read a defense is comical. Like, he is not good at all. That team went out and spent a ton. And yes, it got them to the college football playoff. They were sort of one of those. Yeah, I mean, if you'd have taken a ticket on them early in the year, there wasn't a lot of people picking them to make the CFP. But they went and spent a lot of money. Maybe you could say money well spent. Texas Tech, another one. Miami, they're into the second round. I don't think they stand much of a chance against Ohio State, but you never know. You're playing them up there, or no? That's in.
It'll be in Jerry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But open as a 7.5 point favorite. But I was just wow by how easy Miami could just run the football. Like the only thing that was stopping him was Mario Cristobal. Yeah. LOL, LOL. I mean, he is a joke. I mean, just a horrendous. Look, he makes our boy over here, and I love Heupel. He makes him look like Rick Pitino level in-game manager. Like Cristobal's horrendous.
He has that monumental. Remember that loss he had last year?
Oh, he always and he burns timeout like foolish timeout the timing, and then they couldn't get a play in there yesterday, and there was confusion between him and the quarterback there.
Yeah, I mean, despite Cristobal doing everything in his power to take away a win from Miami, they didn't pull that off. Here's the thing for me about Miami is they do have an outstanding running game. And their defense, I mean, is elite.
It is.
Like that front, Ruben Bain Jr., I mean, like, my God. If the Titans don't get Jeremiah Love, I hope they get him because, I mean, he's just an absolute. But having said that, it's just the thing is, Miami overcome, crystal balls, like god awful management, and be able to get over Ohio State. I think Carson Beck has the talent to do it. But the thing thing is, there's you have to have an elite coach in those type of situations that could be able to give you a victory, right? And I don't think Ryan Day is an elite coach. Ohio State has for them
Oh
to
yeah.
for them to screw up. But I mean, that'll be an interesting matchup. And you have Ole Miss playing Georgia, and then Oregon is playing Texas Tech, which will be pretty intriguing to watch as well. And then obviously Alabama's playing Indiana. I mean, I'm curious about your thoughts on that Alabama game. That was a monumental, also another monumental collapse from Oklahoma there, where they should have won that game with 3 touchdowns. And it's hard to believe that people thought that John Mateer 3 weeks into the season was going to be a candidate in that first round draft pick and everything. He cost them that game. I
Yeah, he
mean,
did.
he just had an absolute noodle and no accuracy as well. I was even telling one of my buddies, like, I think it was that very first drive where like he had him in wide open at the corner of the end zone, just overthrew it by 10 yards. You make Joe Milton look like an accurate quarterback. Like that's just it emphasizes tremendously about that for sure.
No question. I just, those were obviously clear takeaways from it. But here they jump out to a big lead. It was almost like when Alabama, they get that pick, Shades of Tennessee, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, wow. There you could just see the body language, like the life came out of it. Uh, Didn't they sort of when it was right there tied in the fourth, and I thought, oh, well, they could, maybe they could turn the momentum a little bit, and you started seeing the momentum a little bit. But man, yeah, here is one of those that, yeah, I mean, if you think NFL level, he's going to be beat you from the pocket, it's not going to happen. Right? It's very now he's again, you knew he was going to do a lot of design runs, quarterback draws. He's excellent at that, and but he's not he's very much like the guy we saw last night. Um, Obviously, with a few years of NFL coaching and experience, Blake Willis is obviously much higher level than a Peter. But the game is very similar. Uh, Very athletic. Will design quarterback draws. He's in that. I think they're in that same class. So that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a guy who could be a journeyman backup on the NFL level. Um, if he got with the right, kind of quarterback minded whisperer guru, if he got with like a Ben Johnson, we were just talking about how, he should clearly be. And I will agree. I think Drake May is still in a class above Caleb Williams, and a fantastic job that that they've done in New England, turning it around with Vrabel in the game. But to me, that coach of the year should be Ben Johnson. And there's people still that are going to give it to Vogt, which is crazy to me, even though they're still probably the class of the NFC, the Rams and midget. But he will. And I mean that was some craziness too. I mean we've had some crazy stuff. Like it, if you could literally paid off some mortgages, if you would have just taken a chance, like on Seattle when they were down 10 with about 2 minutes left. They were like plus 1,200 or whatever. Somebody put pretty nice sum down on that. And same thing last night. I think it was plus 1,400. Right before the Bears kicked the field goal to set up the onside kick. Which, like I was telling you, I had the perfect little parlay to win a nice little chunk of money. And I knew when he didn't recover it, I went, "Oh, the Bears magic. They're going to drive down and score." And then of course, FanDuel, they lock where you can't even go in and take a live bet right there. And it was like
course.
you almost like you knew they made the call, and it's like, you know, take good care of. I know you do. You know, your rookie contract is expiring this year, but we'll get you. But yeah, it's insane. But yeah, then of course Ole Miss. What a story, though. I know it was Tulane. Um, but man, they look like the way they came out, just pop 14-0. It looked like they missed Lane. In fact, look, I think they may have a little something for Georgia. I think America outside of you know that state, that little area, not even all of Georgia's rooting for them. I mean, there's people in that state that despise them that are Gator fans that live in Valdosta area or where Florida State included fans. A lot of Florida State fans in the state of Georgia, but I think they've kind of got something for Georgia. And my mind, something could change throughout the week. I think Georgia opened at about a 6 point favorite. Look, America, that is kind of like America's kind of team to lean on in these college football playoffs. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see it. I mean, it was a one-score game when Georgia happened this year. I was on the road, and Georgia had to make a comeback, wound up winning that game at the end. But I mean, having said that, this is one of the things is struggled offensively like all season long. I mean, I think they only put up 13 points or 16 points against Georgia Tech. They struggled against Florida as well. I mean, they're just a team that's just not been able, in my opinion, been able to play at a consistently high level all season. So I think if there's any game where I can certainly see an upset uh, among those favorites, I feel like Ole Miss over Georgia might be the best one. Like I'll give Indiana the edge over Alabama. I don't think Indiana's a 7 point favorite. Good, but I'd probably give them the edge for now, just based on the quarterback position in general. Kirk Hayes has unbelievable, has done a phenomenal job there. I mean, you can make it. It's probably a pick 'em for Texas Tech and Oregon at this rate. But honestly, Ole Miss Georgia seems like the most important match for me. Where it's a money line, and Ole Miss is like a plus 180 or even plus 200, 1,000% down 15, 20.
Yeah, and looking at that, so if we just go into the college football playoff, I have I did to make the championship game. One with Oregon had really good odds. I also did one with Texas Tech. So clearly, the winner of that, of that matchup, I feel pretty good. The winner of that would have a decent chance if they come out of that without crazy injuries.
Yeah.
But if you look at those odds for that game, you've got this next matchup. Even if you say to make the playoff semifinals, Ole Miss is plus 215. Clearly, Oregon's a small slight favorite to beat Texas Tech. Um, Ohio State's obviously the odds on minus 450 again. Indiana minus 280. I just, I don't want to see Alabama get on a little run here.
I don't think they will. Their run game is just very, very pedestrian.
I agree.
Yeah, Bernard is a solid wide receiver, but to be honest with you, like that wide receiver is kind of weak a little bit compared, to Ohio State and Indiana as well.
Yeah. So just right off the top, these are opening lines, and maybe, actually, Ohio State opened 7.5. No, I'm sorry, they opened at 9.5. I was looking at that Georgia. Georgia opened at 6.5, and it's now 7.5. Georgia. Uh, but yeah, so my initial, you know, perspective, just looking at it, I think Ohio State Miami under 41.5 is not a terrible I mean, I can see both teams, you know, struggling to score. I can see it being like, you know,
14, something like
yeah, I
that.
can see this being like 10-3 at half. Uh, but yeah, I think Ohio State clearly wins that one. If you want to jump in with us in this discussion, we'd love to welcome you to call us and chat about whatever's on your mind. There's NFL, you got fantasy playoffs, you got NFL playoffs knocking on the door here. Where the Chiefs are eliminated. Hallelujah! Um, but you can reach us at 865-966-3435 if you want to enter the neutral zone right here on Fan Run Radio. Drew, so if you were to pick right now, just right now, you got to think Ohio State clearly wins.
Yep.
The toughest one to pick, certainly Oregon, Texas Tech. I'm going to slight lean to Oregon because they played this week. Just, being,
Plays a factor too.
yeah,
We saw that last year.
yeah. Assuming they didn't have any bad injuries. Uh, Indiana, I think they win. Ole Miss, you know what, man? I I think this Ole Miss could be interesting. So the line has that tells me that's probably public money coming. But the trend that I told you about, where all the major books all week, every they look at like three or four of the big sports books. And I heard the one yesterday, which is another reason I backed off of it. I was actually going to play Oregon down to 13 and a half because I thought, okay, even a backdoor cover, they're probably winning by two touchdowns. Which were the case. I think they won by 17. Um, but the most wagered public play, and it wasn't even close. It was like 70% of the tickets, the money, and the public money came in, which is an automatic fade for this trend. It only lost one time this year, only once. Now we're into what, week 13. So it was on the Oregon Ducks. So again, that backdoor cover did not surprise me last night. What it also tells me, and I hate to even just go there, but with Vegas, how much there's so many suspicious things happening in the sports betting world, and not only that, because there's more of a microscope on it. More people, social media. You got it on the top. You got it on X, Twitter. You got people dropping Instagram. Everything. People are noticing stuff. They're screen grabbing something that happens. A safety takes a wrong angle or just like blacks out, and the runner in front of him, it's like he's just turned into a ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff. Like, how did that happen? Like, it really makes you wonder. I don't think I don't think sports are like scripted, like some want to say, but it does make you want to believe, like, okay, when you start talking about like dirty money and mobster type involvement, it would not shock me in the
No.
least how much. And again, how much are the feds going in and really looking at it? I know they sort of delve into the NBA side of things. And there's some crazy stuff in the UFC as well.
There's always been history. I think that's the thing. And whether people can accept that or not, obviously, most recently, there's been history in baseball. It's gambling past
Right.
as well. I mean, even college basketball in the '90s. I mean, some of those. I think there's like a documentary that you can watch on Netflix. One of those like untold, them based off like the guys from Arizona State in the early '90s, point shape, things like that. I mean, it certainly plays a role. I don't know necessarily for the complete outcome like football, for example, where it's that prominent, but you have to question it when it comes like to the NFL, like on certain calls, on like number of penalties, on a certain team, or like things like that, or calling back a touchdown. I mean, there's a variety of examples. The NFL at the end of the day is also a business, just like and like try to make as much money as possible. And so they're going to have favorites, like, towards whatever is the big name right now, which is probably why like they're kind of furious that the Chiefs have been kind of trash this year, and they're not going to be in the playoffs because that's a lot of money for Taylor Swift fans and all that stuff and so forth. Not tuning in the postseason, but I mean, I'm looking at these lines right now, Clooney. ESPN still has it 1.5 Oregon at the moment, Indiana 7, Georgia 7, and Ohio State. I wouldn't touch the Ohio State one with the poll because I mean I think Ohio State's going to win, but 10 points is a lot, to cover. Georgia at 7 is a little bit. I have to say, this game feels like. I mean, I don't know if Ole Miss wins this game, but this just feels like it's going to be a 3-point win, regardless if it's Ole Miss or Georgia. Like I don't see Georgia in this situation win this game convincingly by more than a possession.
Yeah, look, I agree. I am very even as an exacta, just throw a little on an exacta match and outcome of Indiana to beat Ole Miss. Now that tells you, obviously, Ole Miss has to beat Georgia
And
Ohio State. That's tough. But at that point, it's kind of like hey, winner, come at me. It's kind of like a street fight. I'll take all you guys on. Yeah, well, after you've taken down a couple of juggernauts, you may not have a whole lot left in the tank for an Indiana.
yeah,
2,200, by the way. Plus
I mean, last year's kind of
$10,
like
man, $220.
last year's a good example of a high seed like that. 'Cause people forget, like, Ohio State was 8 seed last year in the playoff, and they had to beat number one Oregon, who just won the Big Ten, and Texas in Jerry's world, mind you, like in back-to-back weeks.
Ole Miss to beat Indiana plus 4,000. I mean, that's just that is that's crazy to think. Uh, but yeah, again, it is that's why we like the matchups. That's why we like to talk about them. It's the whole college football landscape, the whole playoff right now. Again, that's why I reserved a little bit of my funds in betting the first round matchup because again, I was sitting there saying, if you look at that trend and courtesy of BCN Sports Betting Network, they give that out every every Saturday before the game. So with this being the playoff, this is the 13th week of that happening. It only when you fade, and again, this is per. I'm going to watch it next week, but it is per three or four of the major sports books coming out of Las Vegas. But they take the public money, the highest wagered per the public, not sharp money, per the public. And I'm telling you, it is hit every week. Yesterday, again, all week, the highest ticket was on Oregon. 77 or 78% of the money was on them to cover that 20 and a half. That's why I said it. I told a friend of mine who was hammering Oregon, I said, here, you do what you want to do with it, your money. You've been pretty hot lately. That has backdoor cover written all over it. It makes you wonder, is Vegas like, keep it respectable? You got to go. Too, I think part of that too is why are you out there trying to, defensively? Why are you out there trying to exhaust yourself, knowing that you got a hell of a matchup coming up against Texas Tech? Keep your guys safe. You knew you had it in the bag. Which again, I'm not trying to give you a 101 here on betting. That's the reason why I stayed away from that. Again, that trend only missed one time all year. I followed it all week. I didn't start playing it until like week 4. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's like no lock in betting. That was the closest thing from it. We got time for we got a call. All right, We let's go to the phones and welcome in our caller here. Welcome. Good Sunday morning. Welcome to the Neutral Zone. Pretty good. Who we got here? DJ. What's up, my man?
What's going on?
Oh man. Oh man, shoot, we want some winners from you and the callers, man. What did you think of yesterday's action? We were just talking. I don't know how much of that you heard, but I've been telling Drew about that trend with the public. That came from decent guys there. He's the director of one of the big sportsbooks, Circus Sportsbook, and he was talking. He says they use like three or four data from three or four of the big sports books out of Vegas, and the sharps in that industry they wait till Friday, late Friday, and they early Saturday, and then that's when sharp money comes in on who the hell the public paid whoever the public, and the public was hammering to a 78%. So it was by far the heaviest wagered side of 20 and a half on Oregon, and I thought Oregon would clearly win. I had them on one that I had them minus 13 and a half. When I had them on the uh, first quarter minus 6.5. That came through for me finally. Thank goodness. But I did not want to play that 20 and a half just for that end of the game backdoor left open cover, and boy, it happened.
Yeah, that's a big number. And then, like, I played away from Oregon, but pretty far as like Miami, stuff on that, I was scared of that Tulane and over here, so I was those times up as a playoff game, always going for that score. So
Yeah,
I didn't want to really do too much on that. But today, I'm liking the Carolina Panthers, man.
I do too.
Winning the division and getting them playoffs, man.
I do too. That's another trend where I'll tell you a couple of interesting trends. That one is definitely one that's on my radar. I like them at 3.5. Just a field goal can't really screw you over, but you can take that because to your point. I think you're obviously knowledgeable with this stuff, and they are one when they come off of a loss off the road, like they're just horrendous. They've invented ways to lose games on the road, but then when they come back home and they're catching points, they're like it's almost a slam dunk level money in the bank as the Detroit Lions scoring 30 plus points coming off of a loss and them covering. And I think that scenario falls into play tonight too, or the later with the Lions. I think Pittsburgh cannot slow them down.
They played all their games at their own for like the last month, which is unheard of. And they tell you like a month straight home game. So they're due. They ain't traveled. They been playing bad. They ain't been looking good. So I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, another trend, and this is really fascinating, and I love the little quick first quarter highlight Oregon last night. I just thought Oregon was a big kid on the block, with a pop in the mouth. And they really could have had on the possession where James Madison kicks a field goal, they should have gotten a pick, and the guy dropped it. But again, they were able to get the ball back. They scored with about 2 minutes left to make it, I believe, 13-3 or whatever. But they covered the 6.5. Another trend that has been golden this year is and I think it's a sandwich game for them today, which is going to lead me. I'm going to segue into a pick that I like that has some really nice plus money. I want to get your take on this, DJ, but this year the trend with Buffalo, like ATS in the first quarter and the first half, they are abysmal. Now they are playing the Browns. Um, Shadur's going to want to listen, but that's a pretty good matchup for a Browns offense that has shown struggle. But Buffalo can lay some real stinkers. Oh, by the way, we've all heard of the sandwich game. They play Philly next week, so I like that angle.
ahead.
They might be looking ahead. So that leads me to this, and I've got a really good play here that I like. I'm going to play it. Not a huge play, but I'm just going to play it. They're a 10.5 point favorite. Listen, McDermott, uh, they said he wins at about an 82 or 83% clip when they're a double digit line favorite, but he only covers that about 22% of the time. So if you go to, I'm just going with like FanDuel, for instance. If you go to scoring on the option at the top, they offer a nice little feature there. Now, you can get really crazy and even juice the odds up. If you go all the way to the bottom of that page, there's the last thing right below winning margin. You say winning margin with 5 point bands and 10 point bands. I'm playing it safe. Bills to win by 1 to 10 points plus 160. It was plus 175 when I looked at it earlier. I wish I'd have locked it in. Now, I think that has that screen. Starts out a little sluggish, great defensive line can get them fit, and then typically we see Josh Allen go into the phone booth, put his cape on, and then he comes out and he just looks like, Superman. But if you take the 1 to 5 point band victory, how about that? Buffalo. So if you think Buffalo comes back and wins by just wins, but not by no more than 5, that's a little tricky. It's plus 460. Now, if you say, hey, they're going to win by a touchdown, the 6 through 10 band. So again, you have to win by 6, can't win by more than 10 is plus 370. I actually think both of those are worth a sprinkle. I kind of maybe like that better than the 160. Just do it on both. Buffalo to win 1 to 5, sprinkle some on the plus 460, and then also sprinkle some on the Buffalo 6 to 10 at plus 370. Drew's over there looking. Drew, don't let him. He's quiet about it. He'll take all this in, and then right before the show ends, he'll give out his really feeling this, and he does this year. They've been pretty damn good. Like he'll like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take first drive of the game, over 8.5 receiving yards for Warren for the coach. I mean, he's came up with some real iconic. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so that's a good angle right there. Oh, I do too. That's what I like that.
When they get out the business again, that defensive line, the Browns, they're terrible. They gain traction.
Yeah, and it's there. Yeah, and DJ, I did a little more of a deep dive on it when I saw that number. Yes, the Lions have been a little shaky, especially on the road. But when they get at home, and then you put any given Sunday, you hear it all the time. You get a team that's sort of looking ahead to the Philly matchup next week. Um, we have seen literally that Bills defense look really, really good. When the light comes on and they need a stop and they look really good. But boy, I tell you what, it would not surprise me if the Browns put up, in most weeks I would never say, yeah, they're going to put up 23 points, or whatever. But I mean, it would not surprise me because the Bills' run defense has been a funnel, you know. So if you can control the clock and do that, you're staying in the game and you're keeping Superman off on the sideline.
Also, Chargers and Cowboys game, they look real fishy.
It does. I don't have a real, my biggest thing is on that is I've got a little bit of anytime touchdown plays there I like. I sort of like Glad McConkey to have kind of come back to life play, possible anytime touchdown. I like Devontae Williams anytime touchdown. The Chargers, from what I've read up on, have a couple of guys in the secondary that are out. So, but typically they have been pretty strong against outside wide receivers. But you can really take advantage of them in the middle of the field, which kind of screams Jake Ferguson. But overall, I think with a total at 50.5, listen, Dallas is going to give up points. That defense is just, it's horrendous. Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, yeah, if he's out, I would definitely hammer that over 50.5. But I'll tell you another one that, and this was the another angle I really like. I like a lot of the props and stuff as well. I love playing props. But how about this in the four o'clock slate? If this don't tell you, I don't know if this is a tip of the cap to we know the Texans defense. Listen, I'm a Bronco fan, but I think that Texans defense is the best in the league right now. But look, total points for the Raiders. I saw this earlier. I wanted to say it was like it opened at like 12 and a half. Let's see here. This is their total points scored. 12 and a half. Uh, it actually opened at 13 and a half, I see here. And then it bet down to 12 and a half. I mean, Houston, they might even shut them out. I don't know. But that one's interesting there to me, that angle. Like, can they score 13 against Houston with their horrible offensive line play? And, you know,
Oh, they can.
I don't
They
know that they
can,
can either, but
but
that's,
lead it.
yeah, yeah. So those are, like I said, those are kind of some things that I like. One other thing that I like, I'd like it better. I guess it's not that Tua is a superstar, but I think young quarterback. I think targets are plentiful for Darren Waller. The absolute best matchup, whether you're looking at statistical base at any position of all. I've been saying this. What have I been saying all year, Drew? If you just start or bet props of opposing tight ends against the Bengals, you can put your kids through college. I mean, they have been so bad, and I'm telling you, I'm almost Darren Waller 2 touchdowns. I haven't looked at that. But he's definitely one of them. Usually every week I'll do like a long shot. Like I love to score. I really like Darren Waller to score. But like Darren Waller to get 2 touchdowns is whoa. 2 touchdowns plus 2,200.
Now the last week they hit
Yeah,
tight end friendly in that offense.
yeah, and Brock Ewers coming in. I mean, he's going to lean on that little safety valve. He's going to, who knows? I'm sure that Devon Etienne's going to see a lot of targets in the passing game as well. Um, Jalen Waddle, just based off of the corner matchup, kind of a little bit of a fade play for me this week. But yeah, yeah, again, that whole thing there. One other trend that I will tell you that I did notice, pretty good data that I do lean towards and I look at. So I do love Jackson Dart's game, and I love their ability. You've seen it kind of coming here a little bit with um, with that offense, Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, and I know they're a slight favorite. You can get them on the money line. This morning it was minus 130. It's 142 now at the Giants. Um, I don't like it well, and that's not like a huge play, but the data that I saw is Kevin O'Connell. He's a favorite on the road. He's 12-1. And I think they're trying to build something with this quarterback. I think they're another little sneaky little play anytime touchdown. Jalen Taylor he has been targeted heavily. In fact, I would think that's a more wiser play for anytime touchdown over say a guy like even JJ because you can get him for like 400 versus even money. So that's where I'm going with. Justin Jefferson plus 120, excuse me, 140. So, anyways, anything else there that really stands out to you in those games? And before you get out of here, DJ, I want to ask you because maybe this is just because I think my heart rate, like I really want to see Ole Miss, and how the players, how they've had to overcome that. I feel like they have a shot. Like Drew was saying here, they were controlling that game in Athens, and then Georgia just found, like they do, they find it. And Kirby's a hell of a coach. He keeps on them, he pushes them. But man, like outside of the state of Georgia, the rest of the country probably roots for Ole Miss.
Right, right. And
I think they have a decent
got a lot
shot.
of places. They do. They play them tough every time, and it just the defense, you stop. I don't know. They laying any more. They laying any more than 7. I have to ask something.
Yeah, it opened at 6.5. It's already Publix bet it up to 7.5 on FanDuel. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at that like,
I got two other picks that I'm probably gonna go with for today. I heard you say you're a Broncos fan. I think they're going to win pretty comfortably. Just gonna trust Trevor Lawrence to be real cold and not take he know it. I like the Broncos. Like that. I don't know. I like the spread for the money line.
yeah, it's a little
And
high. But you could, yeah, if you parlayed it with something else, I mean, 178 and plug it in there with, hell, honestly, look at this. I don't ever bet on my team, okay, because I know I'll beat them. But just for, a little, we'll just throw a little right here. Before we let you out of here, DJ. Let's say Moneyline Broncos minus 178. You can put that with the Lions money line. That's two late games right there. You can sit back. That should come home. Minus 103.
that's good. Yeah, before I do get out here, I am buying some Patriots, man, but
Yeah.
I just don't think the Ravens really. I mean, they're good, but I don't know that they're gonna be. I don't know that they can beat the. That is really out. And their defense definitely is. I think I'm gonna go with the Patriots money line, and I like the Carolina Panthers. And squeeze in that Broncos before. I have a great day today, man.
Man, I, I'm here for it. I'm for it, not against it. And steaks and drinks on DJ. Let's hope. And seriously though, man,
man.
yeah,
See you tonight at 8 o'clock. Sure.
yeah, that'll be yeah, we'll definitely catch it. And look, I'm with you. Is it a must win? Yeah, but part of me, man, like I know it pains Ravens fans. We know a few of them, but they just don't see the light. You keep waiting for that light to come on and click. This is wide open. I'm a huge Bronco fan, and though I do buy in and subscribe to a little bit of what hey, they have a quarterback who sort of when it matters, he elevates his game. Now, if I get that Bo Nix that played that way against Green Bay last week, I legitimately think we have a really strong shot, especially if teams have to come into Mile High. I'm still not ready to say we are that I feel really, really good about us. The AFC is so wide open. I think, I just, but for a guy like Lamar, is totally invested in it. Is he checked out some? Maybe. But that's why I would say I would kind of lean towards, a team to have to come into Denver that would scare me more would be Josh Allen and the Bills. Certainly the Texans, the way they're starting to play. Their offense is starting to get it together. Jaden Higgins has given them a second option, and that dude makes really big time catches. He's not a Nico Collins, but man, he is a big physical receiver that catches tough catches and keeps the drive alive. And you're just starting to see it's like that snowball. You're seeing it get bigger and bigger. Their offense is getting more confident. I never saw it coming with their offense because the line is just trash. Boy, they have found something and got it together. Um, yeah, DJ, man, I look, I love some of the games today, and I think there's some, there's also I'll leave it. There are a lot of incentive-based plays too. I've seen one where Mac Hollins, uh, used to be with Buffalo, he's your boy now. I think he gets 2 catches $200,000 bonus if he gets 2 touchdowns. It was like another 200. It was something crazy. I saw on that. So definitely another guy who I could see. Vrabel. These coaches, they know some of that stuff. Ultimately, they want to win games, but you look at some of these guys, man, that have these incentives in place, and it's huge. I don't know that I would go as far as this one, but I did hear coming in today. I was listening to the guy from Houston, and they said another incentive in his contract is not that Travis Kelce needs it. I think he's doing okay, with Tay and uh, and his podcast is, though I don't like him, I've always respected him as a player. We're going to go down as one of the best like offensive players, just how much he impacted in the middle of the field. But he he needs like 97, 99 yards, whatever, for a huge bonus. And he does have the mullet throwing to him today, who loves to target tight ends in Gardner Minshew, and they're playing the Titans. I mean, he can have 7 catches for 110. I don't know that I want to play it. I like playing ladders. I like laddering guys up. A guy that I do have on my ladder radar today for rushing yards, I think his overall rushing yardage, I have to look at it. We'll catch it after this first break. But especially with Woody Marks banged up and questionable, is the ageless wonder, Nick Chubb, to go over 27.5 rushing yards. But boy, do I like him potentially getting 40, 50 yards. That even juices up. You're playing the Raiders, who cannot stop the run. So
They will.
that's another angle, yes, and I didn't even mention that earlier. But you're right. You're up. You're leaning on him. They're tired. He's still a physical back. One tackle broke equals 5 more yards. I am seriously considering laddering him up. 50. If he breaks one and gets 60 or 70. That's why I like to play those little long shots. Sprinkle a little bit in there and go after it, especially with a risk-free. I mean, after all, you're not going to use a risk-free, bet, get your bet back if one leg doesn't hit. I'm not going for, a free leg parlay, to win, a 25 that they max let you wager to win $45. I'm going for the custom. What we like, man. That's what we like. DJ, man, we appreciate it, man. Yeah, just, give us a shout. Like I said, we may, not sure if we're going to be in with some travel and stuff going on, but we will definitely, we'll be here all the way through March Madness. We'll be here through the NFL playoffs, the college football playoffs, and we love to have a conversation about it and chat it up with you. So don't be a stranger.
Coming in, man. I'll be on the call for sure.
All right, DJ. Hey, we appreciate you, man. Have a good Sunday. All right. See you, man. All right, that's good stuff. I can tell and I have talked a little football with him before, and he's really really into wagering, and we're here for it, man. We're always here for it. Drew, I know from all of that right there, you clearly got some picks that you like. I feel like and I wouldn't be on this that the Titans pull up.
Certainly see it.
Do you want to though? Do you want to get further away from that number one pick?
Personally, I don't. I'm glad that the Saints have picked up their slack in a couple of games. They now have 4 wins, but they're in that three-way tie with the Raiders and the Giants. And keep on losing, lose out, 2-15, at least give us the number one. One bet though, I think about that Bucks game. I was looking at a future for division winner in that division of the Bucks and the Panthers as well. Bucks are minus 425 to win the division. The Panthers are plus 330. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of intrigued about the Panthers. The reason why I say that, when you look at the rest of their schedule,
what are their 2 games? They're at home today.
They're at home next weekend. They do play Seattle at home, but you have to remember Seattle's already in a pretty much a done deal in the playoffs,
Yeah.
all but locked in. While the Bucks, after this weekend, have to play back-to-back road games going to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, and Miami's kind of at that point where
I mean, they're out of the playoff,
yeah,
situation, but I mean, again, it's like they still obviously they're not like within the top five picks and they kind of lose. Like they're in that new situation that I feel like every NFL team dreads being in
yeah.
anyway. But plus 330 for the Panthers to win the division. It's intriguing. I mean,
Oh, it is.
The Bucks have struggled tremendously the last several weeks.
They have.
And
They have actually found ways to lose. Now,
Yeah.
do I love Mike Evans today? Yeah, I think his target share is clearly that's what Baker's locked in on him. He's always at play. He and Devontae Adams as like red zone wide receivers. I would say those two are probably the top two right now playing that are kind of that old school Michael Irvin physical can box you out. Drake London's another one that can do that. And I think he's due to be back today, but again, how much are you going to trust Cousins on the road? He looked good, and he seems to have developed a really strong relationship with Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts has life now, and has won helped fantasy teams advance to the next round in the playoffs. But let's do this. Let's get a quick break. We need to get one. We need to catch up one before the top of the hour. We'll come back for a short segment. You are listening to Neutral Zone right here on Bad Rod Radio.
Was powerful. Success is contagious, and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axel Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the street. To learn more, visit axellogistics.com. Hey, it's Drive here on Fan Run Radio. Bob, you got any special Christmas wishes? Just final four. One final four from What about you, Bear? Anything special you want? No. What about you, new guy? Anything you want?
Yes, I just want everyone to get along and for everyone to be at peace.
Yeah, okay. That's good. All right. Anyway, Merry Christmas on the Drive.
Are you ready to show off the confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. Focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind. And our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Life never stops moving. The 30-minute daycare pickup, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma. You are racking up the money. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the essentially long-lasting Michelin Defender tire with an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect. You can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination, conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
This is an important message from Mitch Pronox. If you're a man over 30 or you love one, you notice changes that come with aging. Performance and intimacy challenges, those aren't random often. They'll often cause biological change and age showing up. Now is the time to act. I'm Evan Bass, and I started with Pronox because I saw the difference great therapies. Even working hard every year to level up so you can too. Listen, sign up for some subscription pill, sure, something might go up. Goes through your auto renewal. That's how Knoxville gives those plans. You won't
community. Our trusted urology based medical providers focus solely on men's health, performance, and health wellness treatment to enhance your life. We get your labs in 30 minutes and build a treatment plan tailored to you. We even offer new treatments that keep you from every time. Imagine confidence returning intimacy. It's back. Join the community of successful men intimacy transforming their lives. Call 865-514-8220 or book now at midspronoxville.com. That's midspronoxville.com.
All right, NFL inactives, actives, Nuggets already coming out here on Sunday morning. We'll definitely dive into those in more detail, but Oak Ridge's very own against the Dolphins. Eagles yesterday went. Well, what the hell was Dan like Snyder? Or not Dan Snyder. Quinn.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he was doing. The Rams fire. That's really kind of shocking, but they fire their special teams coordinator after that debacle there Thursday night football.
Seems a little hard considering they blew a 16.
Yeah. Did you see the report out too? I don't know what the sources are on this, but the Dolphins tried to work out with Cincinnati a Joe Burrow trade before the 20. They were really, obviously you hit that.
Yeah.
Look, I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks. He has a horrible offensive line, a middle of the road coach in Zach, whatever, Taylor, and no defense. Literally no defense. They've got a Pro Bowler that plays about every 3 or 4, not Hutchinson. Um, but Hendrickson, Hutchinson, you'll see on Sunday Night Football tonight, harassing Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Which again, the one I just gave DJ, I think you were kind of nodding to. Listen, there's no given, nothing given, and no loss in the NFL. I really like Detroit money line, and I'm going to stay away from Denver, even though I think Denver wins. I don't want to jinx them. But to me, the one to do would be against Dallas. Give me the Chargers. Quinn Williams does not go. Give me the Chargers plus, like, move them up to plus 7.5. And Dallas, they can stop anybody.
I mean, they're also eliminated from playoff contention in situations where much to play for,
Right.
At all whatsoever. The one I'm like a little bit intrigued. I know Detroit's 7.5 point favorites. Total 52.5 seems really, really high. I can see Detroit winning this game by like 2+ touchdowns. I don't know if I see Pittsburgh scoring more than like 7 points in this game.
Okay. So I will agree with you on that. And I think Vegas knows what they're doing when they inflate those numbers because they know the public. They want to see touchdowns. They want to see points. I agree with you to an extent. What I would say is a little nugget that goes back to, and this isn't just this year. Obviously, when you had Ben Johnson calling plays, the offense was a little bit more well-oiled, if you will, last year. Coming off of losses, not only are they just like unbeaten, and they usually win like big time. You know how many points they average? Like their last 10 coming off of last. I saw a thing where they're like 9-1 against the spread, and they've won their last 10 coming off of a loss. When they get back home and play at home after any loss, they average like 38 half. So you think about it. Okay, let's say they even go 37. Pittsburgh gets to 17, which that's why I wouldn't touch it. But maybe it's a to your point, maybe it's a good end game. Maybe if both teams strike and it's 7-7 in the first, and that thing balloons up to like 58 and a half, then it may be time to jump on the under. Then I like your thinking there. Hey, we got to get the top of the hour break. Sorry, that was a short one. I was a little long winded in the first, and Drew was beating the glass down. I mean, literally like break. You're a loser. Get a break. All right, we'll come back here. More Neutral Zone right here, presented by Fleet Tower on Pad Rock Radio.
White Claw is taking hard self to a new height. White Claw Surge. An 8% alcohol White Claw Surge is a stronger wave refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in store and online for the White Claw Surge variety 12 pack and 16-ounce single serve cans. White Claw Surge, please.
Service members and veterans. Introducing Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military and legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. West Coast.
For a free consultation, 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
We really need to get some great stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional. I mean, we could just find a website and order it ourselves. You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't have the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's rolling. You know, I guess. Isn't that how everyone does it now? Not the ones who actually care about how the brand looks. If we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics. SM Athletics? Yeah. They specialize in working with businesses like ours. Hat, promo gear, but we also customized stuff. It actually cares. Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts for the month. Exactly. Plus, the more we do that, sizing, colors, material, well, not just the image of the good. It makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Trust me. If you want to look like a real company, not just a company, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it done.
Welcome back into the Neutral Zone, presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue for all of your tire needs. It's Fleet Tire. So here we are into the second hour. NFL, 2 weeks away, 2 weeks left, I should say. And Drew, you did bring up a pretty interesting angle there with Carolina. That's rather than betting them today, those odds in that division, they're tied as of right now. So I do feel like Baker's, man, I wonder if I think he'll play cleaner today. I would imagine, but that's just not his mo. He's a gunslinger. He's kind of a Brett Favre. I'll make that throw again. He's going to stand in front of a mic and say, "Hey, look, I'll make that throw. I'll make it 99 times out of a." His mentality. That can get you into trouble in this league. It really can. But again, I'm on the fence as far as who's going to win that game. I think it is. I think one of those games is going to be within 3 points and 3 or 4 points. So certainly when you're getting the points, you feel pretty good about that. But the whole idea of the angle that you are taking, that this is the time to jump on them as the division winner because if they win today and then that number's cut in half. I mean, it literally, or maybe they're the favorite after this. So you want to take it now if you really feel like it. Why not have that right into the final week? Versus versus just taking them at plus 140 to win today. When you can get it, what did you say it was? Plus 330. Yeah, plus 330. I mean, that's yeah, you're getting so much more value there. Your thoughts on what I discussed with the caller DJ there on the Buffalo? Again, slow starter. Most of the games this year, their ATS record reflects that in the first quarter, in the first half. But you just kind of get the sense, hey, they're gonna find a way to try to eat this out. And I could be way off here. They could jump out, like gangbusters and just boom, be up 21-3, or and we mindset. But I kind of like that 1 to 10 points.
I think 1 to 10 is probably the best, most likely. The way I look at it, the Browns have given up 31 points back to back against the Bears. Personally, just from watching the Browns, I just feel like the defense is too good to allow another 30 points.
Right.
And the Bills have had their struggles. Coming off that huge win against New England a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But again, 22% of the time they cover when they're double favorites. I believe it's in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, it is.
They're on the road, and there's variable factors too. I don't think the Browns win this game. I would never.
I don't either. But crazy things happen.
Browns to cover 10, or maybe if you want to play a little, if you're really intrigued about that 1 to 6, those one maybe cut that down to 6 for Browns covering plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think might be the way to go. Honestly.
Yeah. Again, that's I just saw a video posted. Bills Mafia has taken over Cleveland. They are some crazy. That is a crazy fan base. Beautiful day though, they say in Cleveland for football. A crisp 25 degrees with windy conditions coming off of Lake Erie. So, clear blue skies. So we'll see. And then, the other piece of that too, Miles Garrett trying to break the NFL record. So how about it? Let's have a day in Cleveland. But again, look, man. I've liked that angle for a few days now. I'm definitely gonna play it. Having said all that, it'll probably Cleveland will beat them by 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I don't see it. But anything can happen. The other anything else in these 1 o'clock slate, to me a dud matchup, Jets, Saints. Obviously money line New Orleans would be a lean, but I'm not gonna play it. Shaw, whatever his name is, he's actually pretty good. As has for the Jets, Adonai Mitchell, whatever the wide receiver, he's looked pretty good. His target share has really ballooned. I think James Cook to really have a nice day in my semifinals of one of my fantasy leagues. So, um, but Kansas City, Tennessee, again, not a whole lot there for me.
No.
Again, would not surprise me if the Titans play them off their feet. Is that going to be a little bit of a little bit of a pride here for Kansas City? But to me, like Chris Jones is checked out. I mean, hell, he didn't even know they were eliminated from the playoffs. Maybe he did. Maybe he was just playing dumb. But Fox has the Chargers and the Cowboys. I have some interest in that because of fantasy uh, football, and then Minnesota and the Giants. Again, I think with McCarthy, they just really want to try to see what they can get out of him. But again, to me, those matchups in the 1 o'clock are clearly, I mean, playoff implications too with Buffalo. Obviously, and they've been kind of hot here lately. But the game, and you talked about it, is Tampa Bay and Carolina. Um, so I wouldn't even be opposed taking, though I think Carolina can win this game, and if the trend holds, um, it's now down to 3 on that. But how about looking at that Carolina, or excuse me, either side on that the 5 point and 10 point band?
Mhm.
You take Tampa to win 1 to 5 points plus 380. If you take the Panthers to win 1 to 5 plus 450. If you were going to do that bet, would you not do that versus them just to win at plus 140?
Because I mean they're most likely to be winning within less than a touchdown. I mean, like a 3-point victory for the Panthers, or anything within that.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. I don't see this game by 7 to 10 points.
No, I don't either, because I could see them even if they were up, say 10, and there was like a fluke, pick six off of Baker or something. Baker's going to drive them down, throw a late touchdown to set up. There's going to be drama. The NFL loves it. You pretty much can see it. How many of these games do we see when the line is in that 3.5 window? Well, guess what? You usually end up with a backdoor score or something where there's a little bit of drama at the end of the game. Oh, the NFL going to run a kick here. I mean, so I can so see that happening. Now, if you want to play it safe with either side, Carolina 1 to 10 points plus 200. Tampa 1 to 10 plus 150. I actually feel like there's some really good value in that. These NFL games, man, there's just typically there's closer outcomes in these types of games. Another one, Bengals on the road against a backup quarterback. Their defense is, again, their defense is gonna give up points. I hope it's Darren Waller because I need him in my fantasy league. I have him on an anytime touchdown. There's another one. If you took Bengals on the scoring tab under FanDuel, Bengals to win 1 to 10 points is plus 135. I like it. I think they win a close game in Miami. I could be wrong though. They do find ways their defense to give up, just last minute drives and or a fluke fumble, a punt return or something. So what else in the 1 o'clock? Basically, the 1 o'clock Tampa Bay at Carolina is the game of the early slate. Clearly, um, certainly with the most to play for. Though I am intrigued by the Cowboys and the Chargers. I need points in that game.
Probably, obviously, Bucks. 1 o'clock slot bar. I feel like, we've touched on it a little bit. I just feel like Bills Browns is going to be one of those games where just something crazy is going to happen, and you can see the Browns upset in that situation, and then just,
Could happen.
and then that just gives a golden opportunity for the Patriots to, despite the fact
Hey, it's party time. It's Cleveland. You take Cleveland right now on the money line, you're getting plus 420.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I mean, Jets, Saints, garbage football game. Chiefs, Titans. If I had to make a bet in that one, Colts 37.5. I think even despite the fact that the Chiefs don't really have anything to play for, the Titans just have no weapons at the wide position at all whatsoever to help out Cam Newton. The offensive line's helped out, has gotten improved a little bit. Dan Moore's done a decent job in recent weeks, but I mean, I would the under for 37.5. Like this game, that game screams like a 27, 10, or even something like a 24-3.
I think I can get on board with that under there. Certainly, if Magnolia has and the defense for Kansas City really is invested today. If they're invested and they come in there, they could, I could see this game being, a 17-13 type, a 20, 20-13 type. Yeah, I could so see that. It's just hard to predict this time of year. You get into these games, it's tough. If you want to join us, you can 865-966-3435. We're just talking, pretty much anything college football playoff. We're talking, we haven't really touched on Tennessee basketball, but they kind of got up off the mat there. You kind of figured Rick Barnes' team would do. But yeah, that was a big win. You expected them to win, but in the fashion that they did, they handled a pretty good opponent, and forced them. I kind of liken their game the way Louisville likes to play. A lot of threes, very reminiscent of a lot of threes, but very much like a NATO Alabama type team. But they don't have the long athletic guys that get offensive rebounds and touch putbacks. Alabama does that, pretty much year in, year out under him. They have guys, all of their bigs can rebound, some of their bigs can shoot. They run great high pick and roll. And watching Louisville kind of reminded me of them, minus the ability to clean up on the offensive rebounds and get second chance points or putbacks, but kickouts for second, third, three opportunities within that possession. And then the Monday night game we hadn't even touched on is with the what were your thoughts on the old man, Philip Rivers?
I was talking to one of my buddies. It just speaks volumes, like that. The Colts would rather have picked up a fat 45-year-old Philip Rivers and has him start a game like that over, even imagining or entertaining the idea of calling him.
Yeah,
that's a disrespect towards Hendon. Hendon's one of the best Tennessee quarterbacks I've ever seen here. Unbelievable college quarterback. It's just you hate it for him because at first that it's like his type of that would have been a golden opportunity. But again, he's got plenty of those opportunities in preseason. It just hasn't really. The game is way too fast. I thought all things considered, Philip did all right. I mean, we had an opportunity there to win close, and they desperately need. I never thought they need Anthony Richardson back.
And the word was that he came back and was cleared last week. They made the decision to stay with Rivers.
That's crazy. I just,
that tells me that they've moved on. His rookie deal ends this year.
Yeah.
So they're clearly going to listen to any kind of offers to move him. You know, I'm sure the Raiders will want to take him, or Jimmy Haslam, somebody like that.
Cleveland definitely needs a quarterback. They've
Yeah.
only tried 49 years in the last 25 years. Not making it ahead. So, but yeah, who the Colts have played? Who'd you say?
San Fran. No Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Dog Jennings just keeps making plays.
Is that Indy or at San Fran?
That is, it's in Indy. Yep. 10-4 San Fran, and 8-6 Indy.
It's a must-win situation for Indianapolis to have any shot of, I think they're pretty much all but done in the division, to make it to the playoffs. I don't know, man. It's just like, if they had Daniel Jones, I'd have a hell of a lot more confidence for them, just because he just complements that offense so well. But, when you lose a quarterback that's just been playing at a high level like he has all season, it's hard to replace and try to replace and, keep that same amount of production that you had. So, I gotta probably guess that what San Francisco probably 4-point favorites.
Five and a half. San Fran, 5.5.
Of course. I'm gonna say if it's
Yeah, 5.5. We'll see. Robert Saleh will probably try to, like other teams, to say, hey, look, Philip, you're going to have to beat us. We're going to make you throw the ball down the field. We're going to play corners. We're going to play up in your face. We're going to try to take Jonathan Taylor out of the game and not let him. I don't mean that literally. I mean just allowing him to gain chunk yardage with game tackle with him. You're going to leave your corners on an island and beg the old man who clearly doesn't have the arm that he has now. He can still process and see stuff. You saw that was clear last week. But to get him off the spot too, he might not have the arm strength to throw. If he's being rushed or hurried to throw a ball quicker than he wants, and to be able to set his feet. Those are the things that Saleh will try to do: is make him uncomfortable. Father Time is clearly one there, and he will, he'll find a way to do that. Now, will the Colts be able to stop Purdy in that offense? Seem to be clicking a little bit more with Kittle, and lost all year long. I had Christian McCaffrey, and the first time all year, week one of the fantasy playoffs, he shows up on the injury report. He didn't get about 6 touches. He'd been averaging about 22, 23, and so I lost by 6 in that league. He averaged in that league about 42 points a game. He got 20. So it is what it is. That's why you have to have a little bit of luck. And I value more in fantasy with who leads in the league points scored. I would take that as, in fact, if you're playing in a league that doesn't even pay any money towards that, and they put all the money towards winning, I'm probably looking for a different league. It's just not. That's not something. Again, it is what it is. But yeah, so I think the playoffs after this week, we're going to definitely go in. The league wants this. They want a ton of drama going into, into the final couple of weeks. But if you look at what you were just saying earlier about the schedule, I feel like you've got Christmas night. The Christmas Day games are somewhat interesting. I feel like you'll have more invested in Kansas City showing up on Christmas night against Denver rival. They're trying to any way possible knock them out of a number one seed versus showing up today. That is in Nashville, right? Yeah.
It is.
You're popping on a jet, getting down there for the second half.
You could not pay me anything to sit there and watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got a lot of argue it might be the best slot that the NFL has had in the regular season in quite a long time. You talk about Texas Chargers next Saturday. That'll be a big one. Ravens Packers with a lot of also a lot of playoff implications for the Packers in that situation, especially. Lions Vikings, another intriguing game at Minnesota as well on Christmas Day. A good one. Those Chiefs. You also have Jaguars Colts, which is going to be a huge, huge division game over there. Indianapolis, Seattle, Carolina. Carolina's going to be in a situation to win over Tampa Bay. You're talking about 8-7 and have a good opportunity to pretty much put themselves in a perfect position to walk up. And you also got Bills too, and then Bears 49ers.
Yeah. You speak of Seattle, and we started seeing kind of the new car smell coming off of him. We saw it last year too. Sam Darnold when he was in Minnesota. Now, could they have, had they re-signed him, not with J.J. McCarthy yet, we're probably looking at Minnesota being in a chance at the playoff. But still do Sam Darnold thing. He'll have 2 or 3 weeks. He'll start the season really well, and then they see a little more film. They see him. He was horrible again the other night. I mean, how they bailed him out.
2 picks, 4 sacks.
Santa Darnold, very generous. So to your point, that's not a team that I have going that, to me, that if you don't have it at quarterback, you're not making a deep run. You're not making a deep run.
I think he's a solid NFL quarterback. He is 1,000%. I was saying about 32 teams. He probably starts about 45. A good quarterback, but there's just those moments and situations where your team can only do so much to bail you out. For you guys, and you lucked out, lost Thursday night with that. Rams made some critical errors too. Sure, but you just got to talk about a team that's going to be hungry for making the playoff spot, making their first playoff maybe since the Super Bowl run they had in 2015 for the Panthers. It's going to be at Carolina.
Yeah.
A chaotic environment.
They've got to win today to set that up.
Yeah.
And I think looking at that, with Seattle having only a one game because they split with the Rams, having a one game advantage right there. To me, still the team with fewer holes. You get Devontae Adams back. Now the defense the other day, again, just kind of a monumental collapse, thinking you had the game won. And though listen, you really can make the case for Kyle Shanahan. Where is his name in the coach of the year? With all those injuries, are you kidding me? He's 10-4, likely to be 11-4 after this week. I mean, maybe they beat, the Colts find a way. But I mean, that team had some crazy injuries. I mean, backup quarterback and tight ends out for about 5 weeks on IR. Your top receivers, Juwan Jennings and Pearsall, are out. You never even had trouble wide receiver, which is going to be somewhere else next year. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. So, I mean, and then you lost a Pro Bowl edge rusher in Bosa, like in week 4. So that ought to be truthfully, he ought to get more consideration for coaches. So it's interesting. Let's do this. Let's take a break, halftime break here. We'll come back with some more uh, talk on the NFL. I do want to dive into this and just kind of looking at the playoff matchups because you brought something up about Carolina and San Francisco, or excuse me, Carolina and Seattle matchup next week. Again, it all could be a moot point if Carolina doesn't win today. But if they do, you're right. It sets up a big game. I don't, being that they're only basically Seattle still has to play, and I think if that game were in the final week of the season, then I would believe that that would be an advantage for Carolina. I think if Carolina had their choice, they'd rather that game be the last home game and go to Miami next week. But the schedule's made out, clearly back in the summer. So that's going to be interesting. A little angle there. It's still a lot to ask for, but Carolina could do it. Win 2 games. They're clearly going to be underdogs. They're probably going to be 4.5, 5.5 point underdogs to Seattle. Maybe 6. I doubt it'd be that much. I'm going to say 5.5. We'll talk about it on the other side, though. More neutral zone coming up right after this break here on Fan Run Radio.
From Bubba's Bad News, headline, outside and trivia contest. Appreciate all the support.
You want me to make you some sandwiches?
No, I don't want you to make any sandwiches. I'm trying to read a letter here. Talk Sports family wanted to wish you all a very, very Christmas and a happy New Year.
You sure you don't want me to make you some sandwiches?
What's it with you and making all these guys? Stop fighting. It's Christmas. You know, on earth, goodwill towards men and women. Let's just wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season and a 2026 filled with blessings. From our family to your family, Merry Christmas. Blackbird's veterinary surgery referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional, thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackbird Vet and let them get your vet back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackbirdvetsurgery.com.
Dick's House of Sport at Westtown Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, picturesque batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
Really need to get the right stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional. I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves. You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't have the quality, the timeline. It's real. Yeah, I guess. Who doesn't know? Not the ones who care about how their brand looks. If we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics. SM Athletics. Yeah. They specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, really customized stuff. Extra care to turn out right. Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts. Exactly. Plus, they'll do everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches what you're trying to build. It makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Trust me. If you want to look like a real company, not this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, look for people who are serious about being brand. SM Athletics.
Never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doors. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Clean Tire, 275 Monday, and East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Clean Tire, 275 Monday, and East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Clean Tire.
can never hear this song now without Adam Sandler SNL. You ever heard his where he does the Axl Rose and then he kind of like morphs into Bunker, Edith Bunker.
Yeah.
Oh my God! In the neutral zone right here on Fan Run Radio, presented by Woodland Avenue. If you want to join us, you can at 865-966-3435. Maybe you've got an NFL play, fantasy question. You want a stone cold lock, Christmas money in your account by later today, courtesy of a Drew Fan Run Drew lock. The lock, the neutral. So I am. Okay, so I'm going to put one. I'm going to put a. I'm going to put. I tell you what. I'm going to show a little bit of my little holiday spirit right here. I'm going to put a neutral zone parlay. Feel free to tell it if you want. Drew, I'm even going to. I'm going to share some of it with you if it is. I'm going to see what you like, what you think right here. Okay. Carolina Panthers plus 7.5. Mike Evans, 40 plus receiving yards. I'm thinking about going higher there. His target share should be through the roof. Mike Evans, anytime touchdown. Buffalo Bills to win between 1 and 10 points. Minnesota Vikings plus 4.5 at the Giants. Anytime touchdown, either one of these players, Jake Ferguson or Javonte Williams. Now, I do want to add, that is a 6. I hate playing. That right there already is plus 1,700. I'm contemplating taking one more play that I really like here. And I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it wasn't 1 o'clock. This is solely a 1 o'clock play here. Look, I've been saying all week Darren Waller should eat today. His anytime touchdown is 230 plus 230. Another angle could be a Josh Allen interception, which, and he could.
See that?
Yeah. So I've got a few there I like. If we want to push it into the 4 o'clock, I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Against Pittsburgh, they really struggled to cover. Or we just say, you know what? We move to 4 o'clock slate and just add the line, money line. It puts it at 205, 7-leg parlay, 205. 25 wins 514. 20 way again. I usually don't try to put a whole lot on these wild parlays, but a $20 one pays out for 44. So
how do you feel about for a receiving prop? Kent Gainwell, 5 plus receptions. He's at minus 105 on DraftKings. I feel like this is the type of game where they might be giving him the ball.
Look, I wouldn't be against it. Sorry, I was just reading some baseball breaking news here, but I thought it said the Cubs were white. So I was getting excited. The other side of town. Man, Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns plus 14. It's crazy. Like, All right, so maybe we'll do that. We'll have one more break and we'll put something together there. If you have a suggestion or anything that you feel like is a lot today, you can call us at 865-966-3435. Again, I definitely want to roll out a Mike Evans anytime touchdown. Josh Allen INT is plus 125. I mean, hell, he could throw two and still find a way. Just it is. It's definitely interesting. So as of right now, I do like any of these that you do not like. Carolina plus 7.5. Mike Evans 40 yards receiving. Mike Evans touchdown. Bills 1-10. Victorious in that window 1-10 points. Vikings plus 4.5. Jake Ferguson or Javonte Williams touchdown. Detroit Lions money line.
Williams anytime TD for me. I might replace that with maybe anytime TD and that Bills. Because I mean, like, Shadour's not it. Like, clearly, I don't think he's able to play consistently at a high level, but the Browns are going to be able. They're going to get good position. They're going to have good opportunities. And it just feels like a Russian TD is just the most logical safe bet.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah. So, okay, so there's another option. You could even do in the touchdown market, Judkin is minus 105.
Mm-hmm.
Fannin Jr.'s plus 310. He's always, an opportunity. Dalton Kincaid has been money here lately. James Cook is the odds-on odds, minus 140. Josh Allen, minus 110. If we go down and do either or, which is a little bit safer, if you do Quinshon Judkins or James Cook, which, again, there's not a lot of value in minus 370, it does bring, it does bring those odds, a $20 play to win 300.
Isn't bad.
No, not bad at all. So
there's also another one that's a little bit intriguing for me in the Chargers Cowboys. Herbert over under 235 passing yards.
Oh, I think 30 yards. Yeah, I do. Yes, I would think so as well. They've been a funnel for passing yards. Again, you just have to hope there's no injury or that he gets knocked out. I mean, you could have predicted last night Jordan Love. He gets knocked out.
So FanDuel does have one of those bets now.
First quarter, yeah. So, and you know what's crazy is I have seen in numerous cases where a guy comes, like he goes into the blue tent, makes a phone call from Vegas, and says, "Back in the game, just one play, your family." And literally, they go back. I saw it with Brenton Strange on Monday Night Football. I saw it. I needed like 30 receiving yards or something. He had 27. And he limped off the field, and he's up there with a towel over his head, and he's just laughing. After he come out of the blue tent, he goes back in for one play. He did not even get a target. It wasn't a sniff. He just went in there. I don't even think he even bent. Like, literally, he couldn't even get down. Like, he was at the line of scrimmage, like in a blocking run formation. Yeah. And he just he immediately hobbled to the sideline. Well, that's a little bit suspicious. How the hell did you go back in for one play? Other than the fact that there could be some little bit of shadiness going on there. Again, Fleet Tire presenting, making it possible here in the neutral zone right here on Fan Run Radio. I encourage you to buy there this week. And, man, they're getting cars in there. They're getting cars out of there. People are getting ready for, holiday traveling is here. But it's not even just that. And we're going to have milder weather for this holiday. Mm-hmm. And they say when January hits, Arctic air is coming, expected, well below colder temperatures normal in January. Again, a little ways out, hard to predict, but what you can predict is having dependable tires and traction on the road. You want it, and they're going to be the ones that are put your mind at ease. Whether it's just hey matching it up, getting you two tires that maybe you only need two, they're going to talk you through it and say, hey, look, you can get through the next 3 to 4 months with these. I'd recommend let's get these two, fantastic new tires. Get them, get them on here, get everything balanced. They're going to take great care of you. I've watched them for years over there, and customer service is second to none. Fleet Tire 111 East Woodland Avenue. We appreciate them being a part of Neutral Zone. So, in that playoff scenario, and we'll get our final break in a moment, you and I can get together and we'll decide on this is our Neutral Zone parlay. Let's hit a big parlay, put some cash in both of our pockets, and try to hit something big today. Everybody's got a little bit of shopping, got a little bit of stuff they need to do. You've been going to like holiday parties and whatnot, and I tell you, though, I'm ready to get back, like get serious with it in the gym. After just looking at stuff, I've made so many sausage balls that I've turned into. I literally look and feel like a sausage ball. You know that. You can say it, man. I was looking a little plump here.
I'm in the same boat.
I made like 4 big pans yesterday, and literally they come out of the oven, and it's impossible. It's like walking into a movie theater and smelling the popcorn. You cannot not have it. I mean, it is insane how good it is. You get the fresh market sausage, put a little bit of spicy sausage in there, just enough to give it a little kick. You got the biscuit, and you got the cheese, you got a little bit of put a little bit of milk, heavy whipped cream in there, and it makes them happy. I mean, happiness when they come out of the oven and you can hear them. And anyways, enough about that and the food talk and all that. Let's get our final break here in the Neutral Zone right here on Fan Run Radio. We'll come right back. Would have as you quiet moment. Modern apparel. Make
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you miss on your own. Even if you're careful with your personal information, if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issues. Also, LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 billion protection package. LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info. So all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD. Save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims. At Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get related. My unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that affect the rest of your life. Remain silent for questions. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit GriffinLawDefense.com.
right, welcome in the final segment right here. Probably the final segment of 2025 for Neutral Zone. And we will take this weekend off traveling. But let's so it went back. We were joking that line went down to plus 155 at the Buffalo Green by 1 to 10. It went back up to plus 160. We had to take the Jetsons touchdown off. Although that's probably a very, very solid play. James Cook not even uh, but if we wanted to make it a 7 leg and you want Chiefs just went up back to -3 again. That. Um, but
Browns Bills is now plus 10.5.
yeah, the other option, I think there's two other options that have decent chances of being in that 1 to 10 point victory. I think it could be Bengals. I also think it could possibly be the I think it could be the Chargers. I don't know. They're 10-4. They're playing. There's more to play for there. But also the Vikings. If we move them off of plus 4.5, and then I don't know. I kind of want them to get points just because I don't know.
Which touched over under.
Typically, yes, the Giants have been a I don't know though. Vegas is telling us something. Um, I will tell you two other things that really stand out to me are um, the other play that I just told you earlier is rushing yards. They, they have taken that down. It's interesting. Maybe there's just uncertainty there. Um, maybe a Texans down to an alternate spread of 6.5.
I believe the reason why Woody Marks is not expected to play today for the Texans. So,
Yeah, I knew he was iffy all week. But if you take the Texans down to 6.5, so they have to win by 7, -340. Again, I don't like laying a lot of points, but um, it's tough.
I think what I'm going to do is Chargers are 1.5 dogs.
Yeah.
Against Dallas.
Is this one you're doing? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've had a few of them in there that we kind of talked about. Darren Waller, Rico Dollar, over 235.5 passing yards for Herbert.
So this one here, this is my. I will. This will be kind of our neutral zone play. Odds are plus 1977. Man, if we could just got let's see, if we get 23 more, get it to plus 2 would be nice. Panthers plus 7.5. Mike Evans 40 yards. Mike Evans touchdown. Bills 1 to 10 victorious. 1 to 10 window. Vikings plus 4.5 money line, and Chargers plus 7.5 against the Cowboys. A $20 wager. Thoughts on $40 brings back 780. use the odds boost, it moves it to 24.40, which I can only max that at 25. That's a $610 win. I don't think I'm going to use my odds boost on it. A couple of but, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and lock in a $20 wager on that for us to win 390. Yeah, but it brings 14. So we'll let you know how that does. You and I will keep an eye on that. If it hits, Drew and I will share, I'll share some of the welfare with him. And but what was your official? So yours that you've got a Waller anytime.
Yeah, so this one, again, long shot, low money put in, high reward, 7-pick parlay, good double, Dan Waller, Hunt, anytime touchdown, Chiefs, Titans game. Sean Judkins, TD, James Herbert thrown over 236.5. Chargers covering at $1 wager. All of these like long shot ones I've hit in the past. So I have fake confidence. $1 wager, $400 in.
Wow, nice, love it.
Pretty most realistic one. I feel like we're gonna do like one of those like 7 leggers. I mean, the Bills are gonna have situations. James Cook is just, I mean, within 5-10 yards out. It's just almost impossible to stop. I feel like Josh Allen's a little bit like obvious of choice. That kind of makes sense. He scores. That's what and for Judkins, it's just could be a situation where you know you can maybe have to try to run. Just realistically, I feel like he's the big you know type of.
No, I like. Well, all right. So, and again, we kind of went over some of the clocks and some of the inactives. Be interesting next week with the Packers. How long, how well Love progress coming out of that concussion protocol. That's pretty nasty from last night. But we've seen guys, recover, and that'll be interesting. Star players. And I don't know of a team that's had that many injuries. Maybe the 49ers in the first half of the season, but man, I mean, I'm sitting there just looking at it like Tucker Kraft was such a weapon. And then you lose, a guy you traded your draft pick for, who was, arguably one of the top 3 defensive players in the league. But man, it's tough, man. Hey, listen, we want to wish everyone there, Fan Run Radio, all the listeners, a very Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year. Hopefully, your teams win today and all your bets hit. Drew, my man, I appreciate you, and we will definitely see you guys in 2 weeks. Enjoy the games, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you to Fleet Tire. Thank you to Fan Run Radio, and we'll catch you guys here in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the games and be safe. Have a